let me tell you, when you're writing songs, you have ideas all the you got so many ideas. I was like, one of the reasons I think you might not be getting my songs is I need to pull out some of the ideas, make them in a. But anyway, man, did she write a book about that? If you want to, she wrote a whole book about it. I might even try to get. I saw this shiny book on the shelf. I think it was something like Focus, but it was really she turned it into a whole thing. She did a whole history research. You know these scholars that come out of writing programs, but they're nonfiction. It moves towards philosophy and science. It's kind of like Salt. She did all the research. I read it and I'm like, I feel like this person was trying to tell me this years ago after reading like a 300-page book. But that's my whole thing. The world is full of ideas, Griff. And that's why it's so cool as an artist. You keep, like, I love the fact that you like to play pool.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Something really happens when you let your mind get into geometrics. Just
Mm-hmm.
that thing of leaning
Mm-hmm.
over the table,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out the angles. Our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Our minds need that stuff. See, this is why I wish education was much more back to reading, writing, arithmetic. Like, get these components and get them, play games with them and get them in your mind. Don't use calculators or computer gaming so much. You know, get games going in your mind. And because you see, what I was going to say about paranormal strengths and abilities is really we're made to not even need a piece of crystal in a cave. We should be able to project right into the ether. Right, because some of my dreams out of body, a monkey shows up.
Wow. Now we're talking.
Like when I asked to be flown to Jake's new place in Brooklyn years ago when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like whoosh. I felt myself flying like through the sky. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that whole entrance. We used to go into New York a lot. It's different from Vermont though. You know, so I came in on this other way, and then I'm like, and I'm on this roof, and I'm
Mm.
like, kind of like I think my dream screwed up. You know, it was like my whole that aura body was very heavily on this roof, and then I hear, and I start seeing these words floating across from this light pole, and a monkey sitting over there, and he's going, and the words float, and I hear in my head he says, "You're right over Jake's apartment. You're on his apartment, but just look down, and you can see through see where you want to see." And I go like this, and I'm like,
Wow.
and then I go like this, and the whole thing goes. And I look at Jake in his room, and I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, so you know, you ready to go back now? And I mean, I didn't hear a sound in the dream, but it was
Mm.
such a vivid. I mean, you see my dream, and like when I'm laying here and I don't ask for an out of body experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I focused on this picture, I gave it to the person. I wish I still had it. It was a very old print of that Goya. You know, have you heard of the Spanish painter Goya?
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of old. He always had old. In the old days, these painters had a lot of stuff in their pictures. In a portrait of someone, this was a portrait of a child with toys. But there were all symbolic meanings for these beautiful old toys, like a wooden carved horse and a little globe of the world and things like that. But the boys are in this little red suit. And I'd go over the picture before I had all this junk there. And I was there. And I stood in front of it and I lit candles and I said, we're going to ask him to come in. I said, he really, you show me pictures of him. He really reminds me, and I'm getting a very spiritual pull there. Maybe it'll be like a gateway. We'll draw a spirit in just tonight so you could say goodbye to him. You see, she was a very dear friend, and he died suddenly, and it's kind of, the funeral was weird, everyone freaking out, but she was more rattled. So, man, did she get shaky when we sat down, I held her hand, and I said, we're doing this. And I spoke to him, I said his name, I said, you know, it was very sudden and violent, and you are so loved. I know I never met you, but I'm trying to act as a channel to invite you in. come here and then you can give a blessing. And we can let you go and know